hello, and ahoy hoy, and welcome to another episode of Tootie's Toy Box. I am your host, Miss Burning Up right now because it's hot in here. We just turned the air on so as not to use it during peak hours, where California will charge us $1 million for using it. So, that's how it is. That's how it is in the state of California. Anyway, it's good to be here. It's been an interesting week and on my end. A lot of things going on personally, just trying to keep myself busy, trying to keep myself occupied. As far as work goes, it's like a dead season. It's like dead for the next few weeks, and then it's going to pick up and we're going to hit the ground running, and I actually can't wait for that. I enjoy what I do. I just enjoy what I do. I enjoy production very much. And it happens. Sometimes we have these lulls in the industry, and that's why they don't call it a career, they don't call it a job, they call it gigs. Because we got to wait for the next gig in order for us to be able to get gigging. Speaking of getting gigging, let me check this out real quick. Nice. Okay, there she is. So on today's episode, so we had a good time last week discussing my top 10 favorite video game songs of all time. I enjoyed that so much. It was such a fun time. Left me filled with nostalgia, and then just appreciative of everybody who participated in that one. I don't expect this one to be as fun because once again we are hitting a topic where people who are beloved pass away, and it especially hurts when it's unexpected, and it can be scary, and it can be eye-opening for some people, and it kind of got me thinking and wondering how and why we get so connected to people we've never met before. And we've touched on this subject in other podcasts before, when I did the celebration of life for Oliver Tree, who also passed away unexpectedly in a helicopter crash. And it's been sprinkled in here and there and other episodes because it's a subject that's very close to me. Once you lose somebody extremely close to you in your life resets in a sense, and you have to figure out how to do life without them. And there is technically handbooks on how to grieve properly, but the truth is there really is no proper way to grieve properly outside of the baseline ways of grieving properly: the denial, the anger, the negotiations, and then the acceptance, or the bargaining, right? And then the acceptance. So those are the standard textbook baseline things of what people go through when they're grieving. But what makes it even more interesting is that some of us have this experience outside of people we know, outside of people we love, and celebrities, and pop culture, and musicians, artists of every sort. People we've never ever met before are people that we somehow feel connected to. One person that I can mention for me, that would bother me greatly if he passed away, is Artie Lang, who is an old comedian from the 90s and early 2000s, and he was a prominent fixture on the Howard Stern show when radio was so relevant, terrestrial radio, and then they moved to satellite radio, and now they're almost on the verge of being obsolete themselves because of Spotify and streaming platforms and whatnot. But as far as we know, as far as now, Sirius XM is still hanging on. But yeah, Artie Lang would be one of them because there's this weird connection of you hear these people's stories and you find their lives interesting, and you want to check up on them, and you want to you want to see what they're doing now, and what does he look like? Did he age? You know what I mean? There's so many curiosities involved in people who follow pop culture things. And even if you don't follow pop culture, you have a favorite actor, you have a favorite musician, you have a favorite video game artist or whatnot. We all have a favorite something when it comes to pop culture. And what happens to us when that person or persons pass away. And I kind of wanted to touch a little bit on that, and how, because I think it's an interesting topic. I think it's interesting to see people's reactions and to understand that in one way, shape, or form, we're all affected by these things the same way in different ways, if that makes any sense. And if it doesn't, hopefully it will by the end of this episode. If you like this episode and if you like this content, do me a favor and leave a thumbs up. It'd be very appreciated. It's free to do. If you like it more, or if you love it, subscribe to the channel. I would love to get 100 subscribers by the end of the year. Again, my real goal was 1,000 by the end of the year, like a psycho. But I'm so cool with 100. So if you like this content, if you like this episode, if you like my gorgeous face, subscribe. It'd be very much appreciated. So let's get started. This all started obviously with the recent news and the passing of Hayden Panettiere. I was introduced to her through the movie Remember the Titans, which came out in the year 2000. And she was maybe, I think, 9, 10, or 11 at the time. And she played Cheryl. I forgot her last name, but she played a character named Cheryl, who was the daughter of one of the coaches in the movie. And she was a diehard football fan, which was very cute. She did an amazing job in that film. For such a young actress at such a young age, it was truly impressive, and it was very easy to become a fan of hers. After that, shortly after that, she was the voice of Kairi for Kingdom Hearts. That's an iconic thing about her for me personally. You know, I didn't watch everything she did. I don't. I know she did a show called Nashville. Didn't see an episode of that. She was on Heroes. I definitely watched Heroes back then. What a very beautiful soul, as far as we know, and like many others in Hollywood, troubled, for this and that and the other reason. And we've seen the pattern over and over. We understand that somehow that's what happens, but honestly, it doesn't have to happen just in Hollywood. It happens to regular parents too. In fact, me and my mom had this conversation the other day. She told me some of the best parents in the world have children who are drug addicts. And I forgot why. I forgot why we were having that conversation. But you know, it's not to put the blame on anybody specifically. Honestly, trouble follows you until you learn how to heal and correct yourself from that trouble. That's all of us. So I pass no judgment on anybody who's passed away from an overdose, which is apparently what they're saying she passed away of, is an overdose. There are some questions that are being asked right now about the situation. I do believe her boyfriend is supposed to be cooperating with the police, but I don't think, as far as I know, he's not cooperating very much with them. But overall, tragic, and this came after the like I think the next day after the announcement of Kingdom Hearts 4, and we saw the panel of Haley Joel Osment and a couple of the voice actors who were in the original Kingdom Hearts, but she was nowhere to be seen. And I'm wondering, I'm wondering personally if the reason why she wasn't there is because, because of what she was going through, or was she invited? Like so many questions. And I think that's the first thing that we do. And that's maybe the first step of grief, is asking why, how, especially when it's such an unexpected thing to happen. So prayers, and my heart goes out to her and her family and her children. She was born August 21st in 1989, passed away August 16th in 2026. So her birth, excuse me, her birthday is tomorrow. She would have been 37 years old tomorrow. So just tragic, and there's certain passings, or certain celebrities, when they pass away, you remember right where you were, right when it happened. And it's not for nothing. I think our brain kind of does that on purpose, because like I said, it's these parasocial interactions with these people that bring us They bring us escapism. They bring us comfort. They make us laugh. They make us scared. They make us feel emotions that are the best and safest to feel in the comfort of our own home, watching them on television. So it happens. There is something that I wanted to read to you guys before we get complete. Well, I guess we already started, aren't we? Let me see. Where did I put it? Um, yeah, here we go. All right. So I kind of summarized it. I researched a little bit, and then I asked GPT a couple questions, and then I summarized it through there. So I'm just going to read it to you now. Crying, excuse me. Good Lord. Sorry. Sheesh. Crying over a celebrity's death feels strange on the surface. You never shared a room with them, exchanged words, or knew them personally. Yet public figures often become deeply woven into our emotional lives, sense of identity, and memory. Culturally and psychologically, several distinct forces explain why we grieve strangers. Number one, the parasocial relationships feel real to the brain. I wholeheartedly, I think so. Like I just said, like I mentioned to you, you guys have probably never heard of Artie Lang, or at least haven't heard the name in a long time. But I still feel like I have a connection with him. Like if I would have met him, I think I would talk to him like I've known him forever. And I think a lot of us can relate in that way when it comes to our favorite celebrities, our favorite comedians, etc. Um, they act as anchors to your own past, for sure. We just said that too. We rarely mourn just the celebrity. We mourn who we were when their work mattered the most to us. Kingdom Hearts with Hayden Panettiere. Collective grief and cultural identity. Celebrities served as shared cultural touchstones in an otherwise fragmented world, for sure. It says shared rituals, like publicly gathering to mourn this person, or talking around the water cooler about, hey, did you check that out last night? Did you see Heroes last night? Like water cooler talk, and having that connection, human connection with your friends over a loved celebrity that's beloved by many. And validation is another one. You know, me being sad for Oliver Tree or Hayden Panettiere, or others that I'm going to mention here, is validated by the fact that I'm not the only one feeling this way about this person and losing them, um, in the way that we lose people, especially people that we don't know, especially celebrities. Um, a symbolic loss of art or vision. That's for sure another one, self-explanatory. Um, you are essentially grieving the sudden closing of a creative wellspring that enriched your daily life. For the most part, I think that's true. And it's not that deep. You know what I mean? It's not like enriched, like oh, they meant so much because they helped me through my drug addiction and whatnot. It doesn't always have to be that serious. It doesn't always have to be that. You know what I mean? Like I said, it could just be a matter of escapism and a matter of they're gone. Now where do I go? Now what do I do? So I'm gonna pull up a clip real quick. Oh, it's so hot in here. Oh, I didn't even. Hold on one second. I'm gonna pull up several clips actually of different people who've passed away um, throughout history, and I kind of just wanted to share my personal experience, like where I was exactly when these people passed away. Oh, I have chat. Let's see. Save the cheerleaders, save the world. Well, oh my goodness. Yeah. So yeah, I think I remember watching Heroes with you a handful of times, and then, and then life became what it became. I think I had kids and whatnot, but yeah, Heroes was a excellent show back in the day. Excellent. Um, Let me pull this up. It's good to see you. I'm happy to see you here. Even though I'm feeling a little melancholy. Okay, so this first one I'm going to pull up for you guys is a clip of the passing of Princess Diana. Now, if you are younger than me, Hopefully you're not. But if you are and you're not familiar, Princess Diana was the Princess of Wales in the UK, and she was an absolute gem to the world globally. She was a gem, not just to Americans, not just to England or the UK, but all over the world. She was beloved. She passed away of a car accident August 31st, so that anniversary is coming up, August 31st in 1997, and she was 36 years old. I am going to play one of the breaking news clips from 1997, so the quality is going to be 1997 quality, so bear with it. But yeah, let's watch it together.
Good morning. We've broken into the usual schedule this morning to bring you a special programme on Diana, Princess of Wales, who died a few hours ago. She was killed in a Paris car crash, robbing the nation and the world of a woman they'd taken to their hearts at the age of just 36. The princess died under the same spotlight in which she'd lived most of her life, fleeing with her friend Dodi Fayed from the press photographers who dogged her every step. Their Mercedes car careered out of control in a tunnel alongside the River Seine shortly after midnight. Surgeons fought for 2 hours to control bleeding in her chest, but were unable to keep her heart going. They declared her dead at 4 o'clock this morning. Dodi Fayed died at the scene of the crash, as did their driver.
So for those of you who don't remember, Dodi Fayed was her boyfriend, a brand new love interest at the time. So they would brand new. So the world was calling him friend because a lot of us were in denial. I guess I was a kid. I was 12 when Princess Diana passed away, but a lot of the world was not ready for her and Prince Charles's divorce, which was a messy divorce from what I remember. But a lot of the world were against it. England is a Catholic nation, so divorce is not allowed. So to have world representers, I'm not sure how much ruling they did in the UK, but they represented a country. They represented themselves as a certain people. So for them to get divorced and for her to find a new friend wasn't sitting well with a lot of people, with a lot of pop culture people. Anyway, you can't smudge her name in any way, shape, or form. She was an absolute angel through and through. So there isn't necessarily a bad thing you can say about this woman. She was just one of those. So the world kind of took a hard time, took a hit when it came to her dating Dodi Fayed, because it meant that she was human. She wasn't a princess, even though she was, but it just meant that she was human. This was our version of go touch grass, because yes, she's a human. Let her live her life. But she passed away in a tunnel, I believe in Paris, France, due to paparazzi chasing them. And I think they were trying to get away from paparazzi. As I said, she was dating Dodi Fayed, and paparazzi were eager to get pictures of them two together, because at this time it was somewhat of a rumor, will they, won't they type thing. And it led to her demise. Well, it led to their demise, I should say. I want to show you one more clip about this, because this clip is a reaction to her passing. Just a couple of men hanging out, friends hanging out. Yes, they're gay. So there's definite reaction. Oh, the gay community loves Princess Diana, by the way, till this day, just so you know. But these are just a couple of friends hanging out, recording their shenanigans, playing cards. But they have the news on because they hear that she got into a car accident. And everybody, by the way, I remember in our home, we had it on, and every single one of us was sitting. I remember sitting in the den on the floor. My dad was on the couch here. My mom was on the couch here. Me and my sister were both on the floor. My little sisters were in their room. But we were watching this entire thing unfold. I want to say it was a Friday night, if I remember correctly. We can go back and look up that date in 1997. I want to say it was a Friday night or a Sunday night, because I think we had school the next day. A Friday night or Sunday night, something like that, because I remember school was involved somehow. But I won't forget it. I won't forget the moment when I found out Princess Diana passed away. And I want to show you these gentlemen's moment as well. Did I pull it down? Hold on. Oh, I did. Okay. Let me put it back up.
That's how I'll be remembered.
I just thought we should get you back.
Princess Diana dead.
Oh, she died.
Where's the remote?
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh, she didn't make it. Oh
my God.
Just use the volume.
Jesus.
Get it loud.
I can't. The damn thing doesn't even work.
Within the briefing room where you're gathered, how did you find out who told you?
I was told. In fact, I had to step out because it's still going on. We were told by a hospital employee.
And just so you guys know, hold on one second. My mouse isn't working because it's dying. Just so you guys know, this was everybody's reaction to that news. This was all of our reaction to that news. Where we were not prepared and put in a place where it's like, oh, she could pass away any day. You know what I mean? Like we were shook. Like the entire world was shook by this news. I remember her funeral, like thousands and thousands of yards of bouquets of flowers sitting right outside Buckingham Palace. Never before seen. Her funeral service, the streets were lined with people, just packed with people, and flowers and grief over a woman these people would have never touched in a million years, would have never known personally, would have never been able to see her smile at them ever. And everybody grieving maybe the chance that they'll never get to do that with her. You know, tragic, but collectively tragic, where all of us are feeling a certain way. All of us are feeling, the world standing still right now. How do we change that? I don't like this feeling. What do we do? What do we do? Well, we cry, we grieve. So that was a big one. That was one of the big ones in my childhood. Another one in my childhood that was huge, and this one not so globally, is Selena Quintanilla. She, as most of us know now, she was a singer, a Tejano singer from, I think she's from Texas. Didn't speak Spanish very well, but learned it. It was relatable because she spoke Spanish the same way we spoke Spanish, me and my sister. So she was beautiful. She was funny. She was silly, and she wasn't afraid to be silly. And it was so cool to see. And I remember seeing her and seeing clips of her on a show called Facilissimo. I don't know if anybody who watches this and you remember the show Facilissimo, let me know, because that's an old show on, I think, Univision. It could have been Telemundo, but I think it was Univision, if I remember correctly. Spanish channel, Spanish station. But man, we used to watch it every night. It was a game show or talent show, really. And we used to watch it every night while we ate dinner, me and my family, and it became one of our favorite things to do. But anyway, Selena passed away, as we know, through gunshot wounds. She was killed by her manager, shot in the back twice. So didn't see it coming whatsoever. And I do have some clips of that. And I do remember exactly where I was when we heard the news that she had actually passed away. I remember hearing the news the next day, the day after her passing, which was April 1st. I believe she passed March 31st of what year? Of 1995. Oof. And she was 23 years old. Okay, let me go ahead and pull this one up.
This is 6 News at 6 with today's top story.
One of the biggest stars in Tejano music, Corpus Christi's Selena, is dead.
The woman suspected of shooting Selena is still holding police at bay. You're looking at a live picture right now coming to you from Navigation, where the standoff continues. She has a gun and has it pointed at her head. It's our top story tonight, Friday, March 31st, 1995.
The shooting happened a little before noon today. She was shot twice in the back. At least one shot severed a major artery. Police say CPR began immediately, but Selena was in critical condition when she left the scene in an ambulance today.
You're looking at live pictures. A steady stream of mourners pay last respects tonight to Tejano music star Selena.
Selena.
That was devastating. That one, I remember it hitting not so much us, because I was 10 when she passed away, or 11. I was 11 when she passed away, and just barely getting into my music. It was really more my older cousins and whatnot, and my aunt, who were more affected by her passing. But I'll never forget where I heard it. I was in my dad's truck. He had a brown 1940s Ford, big old giant rusty thing, and me and him were going to, I would assume, Home Depot, because it was a Saturday morning. And I remember hearing it on the radio, waiting for him. He would warm up the truck, right? Back then you had to warm up your car before you drove it. So I was sitting in the seat. He was running around the front yard doing this and that and the other thing while the truck warmed up. So the radio was on, and the news guy mentioned that she passed away. And I remember being shocked, and I remember, like, because we knew who she was, and I remember thinking how, that she was young. She was much older than me, and as a kid, when you look at a 23-year-old, you think they're much older than that. So that part didn't really connect with me, but I do remember thinking, like, but she just got here, because she had just got here. She had just made her debut album here in America, her crossover album, Dreaming of You, I think is what it was called. I remember the very first time I got permission to buy secular music, which, I was raised in a very fundamental Baptist home, so we were not allowed to have secular music in our house. I think I was 14 or 15 when I bought one of my very own first records, and that was one of the very first ones I got, was her English crossover record. And again, she had been passed away for a while, but man, I couldn't wait. I could not wait to get my hands on that album, because she was an amazing singer. She had an amazing voice. Her voice was inspiring. I loved the way she sang. I wish I could have sang like her in Spanish, so she was admired, in our family and many Latino American families across the nation, because we could relate. A lot of us were raised either not speaking Spanish at all, or forced to learn English, like, very quickly and at a very young age. And it became confusing. It became a culture shock and an identity crisis for a lot of us as kids who were Mexican American, Latino American of any sort. We didn't know where we fit in when it came to here. We weren't brown pride people. We weren't Viva Mexico people. And we weren't necessarily gung-ho Americans at the same time. We didn't know what we were when we were kids. It was a real identity crisis. So to have somebody representing us, in a sense, who was fun and silly and beautiful and famous, felt good. It felt good. And really, as a kid, it really felt like, but she just got here. And she's gone like that. But she just got here. I'll never forget it. I'll never forget that. It's interesting, man. It's interesting, the connections we make. And a lot of times, people have this problem with people who grieve for somebody after they're gone, because, well, you never mentioned them before. And it's not like, so like, there's something about, here's the thing. We're not expecting to lose anybody. That's the scariest thing about death. We're not expecting it to come. It just happens. It just is what it is. We'll never prepare for it. We'll never really be ready for it. I personally was watching the time tick, waiting for my father to pass away. We knew he was dying. We knew he was ready to leave. And at some point he was fighting. He wasn't there. He was all gone. His body he weighed 80 pounds, 240, 50-pound man, strong, big dude, 80 pounds, lying in a hospital bed, just not there. Waiting. We were literally waiting, like, come on, guy. Like, this is torture. Let's go. And then once he passed away, we still weren't ready. We weren't ready. I'm not ready now. It's been 11, 12 years and it still hurts. It doesn't go away, you know? So I don't want to crucify somebody for grieving somebody that they didn't expect to lose. I expected to lose my father, and it still kills me today that he's gone. I expected it. I was there. It was like we waited. Like we were waiting. Like, come on, guy. And we still weren't ready. Can you imagine being a fan of somebody? Being a fan of Oliver Tree, being a fan of Hayden Panettiere, and not expecting them to just not be there. Never being able to experience any more work from them. Yes, it hurts. And yes, you can cry about it. Yes, you can grieve. It's okay. You never mentioned her before, so, you know, how the heck do we honor them if we can't mention them afterward? Silly, a silly thought to punish somebody for grieving somebody, right? I have one more, and this one's more recent. This one, again, is another one that affected people globally, and that would be the passing of Kobe Bryant, who passed away at the age of 41. I believe it was, I didn't write the date down, but I believe it was January 20th in the year 2020. So let me pull that one up. That was a big one. That was another shocker for everybody because, again, absolutely unexpected. Nobody wakes up thinking, you know, superstar Kobe Bryant is going to pass away. Healthy guy, you know, on top of that, his daughter passing away with him.
Kobe Bryant
Sorry about that.
died earlier this afternoon in Los Angeles in a helicopter crash. News reports are just coming in among multiple victims. Kobe Bryant on that helicopter. We're going to have Ramona Shelburne join us now from Los Angeles. She is on her way to the scene right now. Ramona, how did you first learn this information and how are you absorbing it right now?
Oh my God. I mean, I was outside playing with my son and I just saw an alert and everyone I called, you know, you get quick voicemails and people close to him are in absolute shock right now. And it's, you know, I can't even process it. I live 10 minutes away from the scene, guys, and I can't even remember how to drive there. It's shocking that Kobe Bryant is gone.
It's interesting what she just said there. I was playing outside with my son and I heard the news. She's never going to forget that. She'll never forget that. That's her story about Kobe Bryant's passing for the rest of her life. That's her story. I'll never forget it. I was playing outside with my son and I heard the news. That's her story for the rest of her life about somebody who affected her in one way or another, affected me one way or another. At the time of his passing, I believe, I'm almost 1,000% sure it was a Sunday morning because we were at church. I was at church. We had a good church service. Usually after church, we go in the fellowship hall and we have a meal. And this is what we were doing that day. And I remember looking at my pastor, who at the time was a young dude, probably my age, actually, I think, Pastor Derek. And he was devastated and shook. And I was trying to figure out what was going on. Excuse me. I was trying to figure out, hey, what's going on? And, and then everybody's talking, buzzing. Oh, Kobe Bryant died. Kobe Bryant. I'm like, what? I look at my phone and then it's like, oh shoot, like Kobe Bryant's dead. Kobe Bryant is dead. Kobe Bryant. Like, it wasn't registering. It wasn't hitting the way I guess it could have. It was just so unbelievable. And then later to learn that Gigi passed away with him. Later to learn that he lost his baby. I can't imagine what Vanessa was feeling and what she could be feeling today, even 6 years later. I truly couldn't imagine. But that was another one. Where you just don't forget. You don't forget where you were or where you were or where you are in certain things. I think there's a few more for me. Michael Jackson being another one. And I think Michael Jackson's a big one for a lot of people too. Mr. Rogers was another one for me. He passed away on my birthday. I won't forget that either. Robin Williams, another one, especially because of how he passed and how unexpected that was, and how many lives he touched with his humor and his kindness and his sense of logic and his ability to simmer things down when they were escalated, to bring laughter into a situation that isn't very funny. There's a reason why pop culture is so important. I think the summary nailed it on the head, where it helps cultivate identity. It helps cultivate personality. And a lot of times it could steer in a direction where it's completely fake and you're living in a TV world of delusion, or it manifests into something where you get to find your own identity through the TV shows you watch, through the music you listen to, through the artwork you enjoy, through the comic books you read, through the video games you play. We cultivate and carve ourselves into these things by influence of people that we watch and listen to and see and play with. We cultivate our personalities through these things, on top of personal influences, right? Our parents, our siblings, our friends, it all works together. It's all this one massive circle of society, and sometimes we don't see it that way. Sometimes we just see why are you crying for them? You don't even know them. And you make somebody feel sad, or you make somebody feel silly or guilty for feeling a certain type of way about somebody passing away. That's weird. That's a weird thing to do to people. So stop. Don't do that to people. I just thought it was really interesting. And if you are in a position where you feel like you're a little bit too sad about a certain celebrity dying or passing away, reach out, man. I'm right here. You can always DM me. You can always reach out to me. I am an open book, especially when it comes to grief. There is nothing wrong with feeling sad about somebody, whether you know them or not. That's human. That emotion is human. Like, please feel it. I would rather us feel it than not feel it. I'd rather us feel it than make fun of somebody for feeling it. It's okay to feel. It's okay to feel. No matter what you're feeling, it's okay to feel it. We have to let go of these stigmas of you have to be strong all the time for everybody in the world all the time. And here's the thing. Ironically, this is why we admire certain people. This is why we admired Princess Diana, because she was a very strong, smart, beautiful woman. Selena Quintanilla, strong, smart, beautiful woman. Kobe Bryant, amazing athlete, broke records, sense of humor up the wazoo. And all of them. We can name many people who we still have, many people who we've lost. That in one way or another, there is somebody out there who was devastated by their passing. Strong men also cry. Are you surprised at my tears, Jeffrey? It's true though. There isn't a single damn thing wrong with you being sad about a piece of you that maybe is disappeared now. You know, I don't know how many huge fans Hayden Panettiere had, but they're out there and they're grieving right now. They're grieving right now. It's what we do when we get connected, when we find these connections to things. Kingdom Hearts, I literally have the Nobody symbol tattooed on me. Kingdom Hearts means so much to me. By the way, these are my children right here. These are them. This is their astrological symbol, and this is me because I am nobody without them. That's why I got it. Kingdom Hearts is way too close to my heart, along with other cartoons that are on my body. You know, so, you know, again, her passing hurt my heart because of how close it was to the announcement of Kingdom Hearts 4. It's just a strange coincidence. You know, we can call it a coincidence for right now until we know more about how she passed away, right? But what a strange coincidence. We celebrate something finally that we've been waiting for, Kingdom Hearts fans. And then we get this blow. We get this devastating blow. It's not easy. And it's okay. It's okay to feel a way about somebody we don't know. Let yourself be human. Let yourself cry. And then let it go. That's all we can do when it comes to grief. And take all the time in the world, all the time you need in the world to grieve. Take it. But don't stay there. Don't stay there. We can't stay there. You know what I mean? I miss the heck out of my father. But I wouldn't be here today if I stayed stuck just, what am I going to do without him? I have to do without him. I've been doing without him just fine. And it's not a cruel thing to say. I've been fine without him in one way. And I've been a mess without him in another. That's just how it is. That's just how life is. But we continue to move. We have to continue to move because we have other people depending on us and vice versa. This world is this giant wheel with gears, and all of us are a part of it. Every single one of us. So when one of us is gone, when one of us gets taken out, the gear has to find another gear. Like it's his whole thing. It's like, what do we do? That's grief. That's grief. Oh no, somebody's missing. What do we do now? That's grief. We figure it out. And we move on. We move on. Life goes on and on and on and on and on and on. Right? Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. Kind of glad I got this out of the way. Glad I got this off my chest. It wasn't the most pleasant episode, but absolutely, it wasn't meant to be an episode of sadness by any means. I think we are best put in a position to celebrate the people that we admire, especially in pop culture of any genre. Celebrate the people that we love and we lose, because that's important to you, and it's important to their families. Otherwise, all of this would be for nothing. Their careers, their sacrifices, their demons, all of it for nothing if we don't get to sit, take a breath, cry, and celebrate them. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Thank you again for watching. If you like this episode, again, please do me a favor and leave a thumbs up. If you like this channel, do me a favor and subscribe. It'd be very much appreciated. I have been your host, Miss Tootie Odin. I hope all of you have a wonderful rest of your week. Well, happy Friday tomorrow, and a wonderful weekend. I will see you guys next week. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week. Bye.